welcome to the Macro Chat live show. We were dancing. Were you guys dancing too? It's such an upbeat song.
Every time.
Hey, look at Elisa's here. Ada's here.
Yay.
Welcome.
How's it going, guys?
You guys. Hopefully some more will jump in. I do put on Hootsuite. I use Hootsuite AD.
Oh.
And so what I did was, and then I put on, hold on one second, because Coco is going to start barking.
Oh, no.
Right when we, I just hit her poor little head. Everybody, this is Coco. She's my dog.
Coco.
She's always in everything that I do. But anyways, what I was saying on Hootsuite, I put in that the macro show is starting at 1. So hopefully we'll grab some more people.
Right.
And if you guys know any macro photographers, then share with the group and let us know. Can you hear us? I'll just ask. Can let us know if you can hear us, you guys? That'll be awesome. And yeah, share the group with people because, it's awesome. I think really, to tell you the truth, it's the only macro show out there. I mean, there's landscape and a variety of things, but when it comes to close-up macro and micro, I think we're the only ones, AD. Woo.
Yeah, and while we focus on the macro, folks, I mean, the information that you get from the show, if you're just sharing it with your friends, you want somebody who's a photographer friend, maybe they're not into macro, just suggest to them, hey, look, we do critiques and it can help. It's not just like you're just going to learn about macro. You're going to learn about everything, like photography. We're about creativity, really. I mean, so
yes,
ultimately.
Yes, and that's what's nice to know is that, I think when you give feedback like this, a feedback loop, it helps in all ways. And like AD says, it's true. It definitely helps in all ways. Let's see. I thought I heard myself.
You did. Just one quick second. I just checked the audio just to make sure everything was working. Because we got a warning from YouTube that says that our audio bitrate is 0, which is wrong. YouTube, I don't know how to tell you, multi-billion-dollar company who can't seem to get that right. But anyway, we're just fine. Everything's working just fine.
Well, what's funny is
as long as the internet stays on.
Yeah. What's funny is that I wouldn't even have known. I love that coffee. Ada's like coffee.
Yes.
You guys are late over there.
Speaking of drinks, I got to share with you before we get started, because once we get rolling, we focus on one thing only. I got to share this drink that I have with me today, which I've found a new soda. Like, I'm not a soda drinker. We've talked about this before. I gave up soda probably 10, 15 years ago. I haven't looked back. But I love the taste of it, right? It's who doesn't like a Coke or whatever. I found this soda called Fresca. It's old.
Fresca.
It's like a real old,
That's
Fresca.
Back when we were young, right?
Right, yeah. Well, it's back, and it's super popular, and it doesn't have sugar in it, which is awesome. But I found that if I mix in like a little bit of real, now not the sugary stuff, but real cranberry juice, like the real bitter, like the real deal stuff, like 100% pure.
My husband drinks that.
Yeah, if you mix, but you can't. It's like battery acid if you try to drink it straight, right? Usually got to have it on the rocks. I usually like somebody sneak some alcohol, do something, put something in that. Actually, the Fresca and a little bit of cranberry juice in the bottom makes like this fruit punch lemonade, which is fizzy, and it's freaking awesome for summer. I usually have a nice tall glass of it every day. It's really good. So,
yeah, that sounds really yummy. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back and watch the beginning of this to make sure, because Kevin has that stuff in the refrigerator. I just got to get Fresca.
Fresca, good luck. It's really hard to get because we've had trouble with it. It's like the most popular soda right now out there, I guess. I don't know.
There's a comeback, huh?
Yep, make it a comeback.
Wow. Sounds yummy for the summer for sure. So I want to say, Elise says that she can hear us loud and clear. So YouTube.
Thank you. Hey, right. Well, now it says everything's excellent. So I don't know. And, you just never know what those things are about. But awesome. So what do we have on tap today? What are we doing?
Oh, my gosh. So we've got Ada's rocking it with some amazing photographs. Cool. And we have Charlie. I give it up for Charlie. She's a newbie when it comes to macro photography, and that girl works hard. I see her all over the place.
I was going to say, she's new, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Hey, Catherine, how's it going?
Hey, Catherine's here. So we have Georgia here. We have Irish here. We have, okay, let me see if I can remember. Otta. Where are you, Otta? Gosh, darn it. He's over there on the other side of the Atlantic. I can't remember. You'll have to tell us, Otta.
No, I'm on the other side.
You're on the other side. You're in the Atlantic.
That's right.
I'm in the Pacific. But
coast to coast to coast to coast to coast.
Yeah, that's what I love it. And you know what? That's why I'm so happy that we put this down to 1 p.m. California Pacific. So then Elise and Otta and Catherine, you're with AD, but Asia.
Oh, awesome.
So he's out in that area.
Very cool.
Yes, and any of you guys that are newbies, let us know in the chat because we do pay attention to the chat.
Yeah.
We watch it, so we have some awesome images from Otta.
It's Macro Chat Live.
Macro Chat Live.
You're right there. Live. You're right there in the middle. So yeah, we got to pay attention.
Yes. And we also have. I'm going to share. Tablet, my Wacom tablet, because we always like to take a little break in the middle. And I wanted to share, I got a new tablet and I wanted to share some really cool information for those of you that don't have a tablet or maybe want to use your tablet a little bit more.
Awesome.
Because I know that can be difficult. Then we'll go back to more of our feedback loop. And remember these feedback loops, AD and I will go through your stuff, and Otta's here, which is awesome. I'm hoping Charlie jumps in. If not, it's okay. You can watch the replay, and if you have questions, ask AD and I down below in YouTube, and we can answer your questions. So Charlie, if you don't make it, ask down below, and we will answer your question, because we will give you guys homework. That's why it's called Loop. And so far, Art has he was the first guy that did the really loop, where I think, you know who else did a loop? Was Baz. He did a loop too, where he did his. Yeah, I think Baz was the first one. I haven't seen Baz in a while. I'm gonna have to ping him.
So Janice, quickly before we and if anybody's watching this show after the fact, I know you guys are all know this, but I just put a link down at the bottom where you can submit your images to be on the show. Now they have to be macro based images. Now you can stretch that to abstract using macro techniques or whatever. But you can submit those images down below. But I wanted to ask you, what's a feedback loop? I mean, this kind of, Yeah,
let's tell them what it is. So what you'll do is you'll submit your images, but when you submit your images, you need to tell us what your goal is, because AD and I can't give feedback if we don't really know what you're going for, and we will hone in on that part of the image. You can have up to 3 images, or, which is really cool, and I don't know of any other, I'm telling you, I love our show, because I don't know of any other show, you can actually submit a portfolio up to 10 images, but you do have to have like a couple artist statement sentences. So that's basically just saying, what is the main concept of your actual portfolio? So this way we don't look at the images individually, we're looking at the images as a whole.
Right.
So that's what our loop is all about. We give you little suggestions. AD and I have taught and mentored for years. So I'm not going to lie, I think we're pretty good at it, and it's fun.
And the loop part is that we give you like homework to do on your images, and then you send them back to us and we look at them and we talk about that. Right?
And and that's exactly what it is. And I think the reason why we're good at this is because we've done it so long, so we can kind of hone in on certain things that we think that will push you individually stronger. But what's really cool is that most people have the same questions as you do. And that's why it's awesome for you guys to submit images. And we do not, this is not like a critique like college where they eat you up and spit you out at all. We're not at all.
No. We have nothing to gain from that. So it's the whole idea here is to help you boost your creativity and just move it forward. So all the people that are here already know that. That's kind of for the people that may tune in later or have never submitted to us. And it's fine if you just want to lurk around and watch. That's great, and learn from that. If that's how you function, that's perfect. But if you want to get involved, use the link down there, and you can definitely get involved with us. So
yes. And we haven't done that in a while, so that's good that that you got us going on that. I do want to let you guys know, though, in Facebook, I let Mark, wait, mark your calendars, because you guys know that I didn't ask anybody for August because I've got something going on. Well, the membership is opening next week, you guys, and that's for people who need accountability and want to push their creations with me mentoring and a group of other photographers that are macro and landscape. We don't have to put the you remember how we usually put the promo up? Yeah. That's okay. We don't need to do that today, but it is opening up next week. But I do want to say real quick that if you guys, there's quite a few of you that have put in for the wait list because it hasn't opened yet. And if you do sign up, you get a super duper bonus. I will do a one-on-one. It's not really a consultation. It's more about finding out what your goals are, and for an hour, and we sit down and we do it on Zoom real quick, private, and you can have that for free. So I'm only doing it with that list, though. It's a wait list. So go to Sullivan J Photography if you're interested. And also, we're going to have in September, I just want to say it real quick before we really go for it, Mitchell Wu. If you guys don't know who he is, awesome sauce. He's a toy photographer. And
yeah, so cool.
Oh, he's amazing. So we will have him in September. So you'll get us one more. You'll get us in August, and then we'll yeah.
Now, does he do any of the like forced perspective stuff where he like films like a toy car like on a real street somehow? Does he do that stuff?
You know what? He does like all his props and stuff in his backyard, and he's like.
Cool.
And he's like I'm so honored to have him and all these people that come on. They're such top-notch photographers. And it's been hard to get him because he's been super busy, really, really busy. And so he finally is like, okay, we got a date. Let's do it.
Do it.
So I'm really excited about that. If you guys haven't seen the Facebook group, I just did a post and I did his website. So also, I don't know if we had the Facebook, but down below I will always put the link to the Facebook group, and that's just really about information about what we're doing. So with that said,
hi Karen, we saw you come in, don't worry.
Hi Karen,
you're not late. Don't worry, it's fine.
Yes,
we record all this so you can watch it back. That's fine.
Hey, you know what, better late than never.
That's right.
Woo,
we're just getting started actually, so
I missed her because she's in LinkedIn.
Oh,
and
cool.
I'm like, she hasn't been here for a while. Oh, Art's here.
Art's here. Yep.
Woo-hoo. I was just talking about you, Art.
Very cool.
Now all we need is Baz, and we got the whole group together.
Right. Awesome.
All right, so let me get things rolling on my side because we're going to start rocking it. And I'll tell you, though, Ada has just been so awesome with, we're really going to share some wonderful images. And then we'll take a break, come back to us, and we'll do a little bit of the tablet, and then we'll go back to the feedback. So let's go ahead and do it, AD.
Smooth, Janice.
Smooth. You guys, I had it on. Can you believe it? I was ready. Aren't you proud of me? Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of myself. Okay, so this is the first piece that we're going to talk about. It's Ada's, and I love what he says. He says many people made similar designs out of paper. He goes, I just wanted it to be different. Now, how cool is this, you guys? To me, I have not seen this, with him being different. It is totally different. I've never seen anything like this.
I wouldn't have known this was paper. So.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, really?
No.
I do. I want to know how he lit it.
Yeah.
We lit it. Ada, you're here. Give us your super secret way of how you did this. So, AD, if you want to, do you have any suggestions? I have a couple suggestions for him, but
sure.
I just think it's wonderful.
I'll go on your suggestions. I mean, basically, I just wanted to say a couple of pluses to this image. Is good composition off the top. I really enjoy the spiral kind of look to it. That's very interesting, very leading. The lines lead around. Your eyes really know where to go with this. And also your choices of color, straight off the color wheel, Your contrasting colors are working really well together as well. So that's really all I have to say. I'm curious, Janice, to hear what your suggestions are.
Sure. Well, I feel the same about this color. When I first saw it in the swirl and the color, and I just love the lighting. I mean, that's why I want to know is super. It's a sticky
he's being even more mysterious. It's a sticky memo. Now I'm even more curious as how you did it.
So it's a sticky memo pad, probably, huh?
Yeah.
Like the sticky memos. Wow. Maybe it's the sticky ones with the different colors. Is that right? Or did you like this? You need to let us know.
It looks like it's lit or maybe colored after the fact. I will say this, before you get into any changes or anything that we talk about technical on this, Ada, thank you so much for submitting an image like this, which makes people's minds curious as to, this is the kind of thing right here that inspires creativity. You're taking a simple item and really making it into something that's wonderful. It's art. This is you becoming an artist. So this is the type of thing that this is what Janice and I do this show for, is to see this happen with somebody. You know, your other images were great and a lot of fun, but as you kept pushing and doing more, you came up with, here's one that's a home run. It's great. I just love seeing that. That's just amazing to me.
Yeah, and he's done, the composition, which, at least I know I was going to make some videos, and I still am.
Sure.
We were talking about, because she's like, I get it. She's like, what the heck is the compositional rules and why? And so I was, and people will talk about it, but they don't know really the whys of it all. So
it's good. It's good to learn the compositional rules, and does not mean by any way, shape, or means that you need to stick to it. In fact, some of the most famous artists in the world went hard against the compositional rules, but that's what they knew, the rules to break them, right? You have to know the rules, otherwise you're all over the place and it might not work with what you're trying to achieve. So once you know the rules, you know what applies to the right spot, or when it should apply or when it shouldn't. So that's why we always talk about learning this kind of stuff. Is definitely.
I believe it too. I just feel like if you learn it, then you know why you're breaking it too. So yes, and anyways, oh my gosh. Okay, so again, I just love the lighting for sure. Let's see, good looking. Pier to North here.
Sure it is. Awesome.
Oh
Welcome.
my God, great work. Okay, hey, so let me tell you, Ada, I want to talk to you. Like I say, I love it. So I want to take them to the next level. So my eyes go all the way through, and I'm being nitpicky to Otto because I know him now. Mm-hmm. And this is what Janice does. I'm very I have to know what you are, how you photograph, and the way you photograph before I really know what to say. So Otto, what I would do is I would just darken this bright a little bit. Just a little bit here. And I was curious. It doesn't bug me. I just want to know if this was something that you liked, that was part of it. It kind of is like, it's the juxtapose, which is really cool. So I was kind of curious about that too, because he did want to do something different. So see how he has the paper here? That's cool. It's different. It kind of binds it. But the only little perk thing there with Jan's being a little nitpick is I would just darken this and these this little piece, not all these. Look, let me show you. See, this is part of the paper. To me that's part of it, and that's cool. I always look for things that are like part of really the camera issues. Like, we know this is probably a highlight, it's probably not part of the paper. If it is, I don't know. I would darken this just a little bit. I know you could do that in Lightroom because you're a Lightroom user from what I remember. Yeah, so that's all I would say. I think it's gorgeous and I love it. I love the colors. I love the feel of it. And it's a beautiful piece. 2 to 3. Let's see what he's saying. Growing sample of plexiglass. Oh, so you have plexiglass. I love,
nice.
Yes.
So much fun.
Plexiglass. is my thing. I love Plexi. Okay, so we're going to go on to, and Autumn, if you have questions, we'll check back and forth with the chat for sure. But we're going to go to your next image, and here's another cool one. He says the tiny ant, crazy ant size, about 2 to 3 millimeters, was interesting to me among the aphids, which, wow. So, which look like glass, chocolate, and what is that word? Pastilles? I don't know what that is. Chocolate and pastilles. I don't know what that is. It must be something to eat. I don't know. But that's what he's saying. He says basically it was interesting to him among the aphids. So that's what he was going for. I totally feel like those aphids that's amazing, huh? How close he got on that?
So on my video gaming channel right now, I'm playing a game called Grounded, where you get shrunk down to a little teeny tiny person and you're stuck in a yard and you have to deal with aphids and spiders and ants and everything else. And that's amazing because I saw this and I immediately thought of that game. The thing for me on this photo is I want to be closer to that. Zoom in on that ant and just put the other two like in the corner so you can just kind of see the stuff. Yeah, I mean, look at the detail. That's where I want to be, buddy. Right there. Put me right there.
Is that like the eyes of the aphid right here or the back? No, here's the front.
Yeah,
okay,
they have like two little things coming out of their butts.
Oh my gosh, this is so amazing.
Yeah.
So,
and the ants and the aphids actually get along. They don't usually, from what I've seen, the ants don't bother with the aphids too much.
Just friends.
Yeah, they're just cohabitating.
Wow. Well, so, I just think this,
little gummy candies, right?
Yeah, he's all gummy candies. Oh my gosh, they totally do look like gummy candies.
Yeah, right. They are definitely not, but yes, they do. No, I think you captured that ant so beautifully that I just want to be right there. I want to see all that detail. I don't want to be farther away back. I think this is much more interesting, less distractions. You know, really shows off your amazing focus capability there. I mean, you nailed it. Right on the eye of that ant. Perfect.
Yeah, that is like so hard to do because they're always moving.
Yeah.
I think I'm sure you probably used your flash, huh? I'm not, he makes his own suit. So, which is smart,
Yeah, I mean, see there, right there, the way you have it, Janice, it's separated from the background. I mean, it just, everything is working there. You'd maybe clone out the one leg coming in from the right-hand side there a little bit. The other one's fine. You know that there's another ant over there doing something. I mean, if you're trying to make a piece of art out of this, then I would probably clone out both ants completely and just have your one guy there hanging out with all those aphids is just remarkable. And the fuzz on the stem and everything is just fantastic. I just love the detail. That's what I love about macro photography. Back here is what I can see with my eye, right? When you put it back here, it's just like, yeah, it's a good photo. I can see it, but you got a leaf in the foreground. You got so much going on, but then you take away all of that stuff and you move in, and then it becomes, I think the wow factor suddenly is there for me, at least. The color and everything else is great.
I think so too. I agree with AD on this, Autumn, for sure. Because it's such an impactful, macro we can't see. We just can't see. We can't see what something like this you just can't see with your eyes. And you're giving that to us. And I just love it. He's got this in focus too, so I would personally probably clone this baby out because look at how sharp it is.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful.
Yep.
I totally agree, and I'm sure most of the people out there would, we're macro lovers, and yeah, it's nice to be able to see where they live, but I think this is so good that I don't want to see where they live. I just want to see them.
Well, let me address that too really quick. We kind of know where ants live. Unless they're doing something really spectacular. Like if an ant is out at the end of a leaf and it's all blank behind it, and maybe he's got, a drop of water in his mandible, it maybe shows some background in, the tiny ant with the big droplet of water hanging on the end of the leaf. That's fine. But I think normally we know ants live on the ground or in the bushes or on plants and that kind of thing. So that's kind of a known thing. We kind of, unless they're doing something like an ant is, sitting on top of your monitor looking at you, and you want to take a photo of this ant looking at you on your monitor, which would be an interesting, weird photo. But that's what I'm trying to get at is that you can, if you think that way, then you're going to want to zoom in. So,
well, I think Otto should get an ant and bring it onto his monitor and take a picture.
Put it on his camera lens. Like, what are you taking a picture of? Good luck with that, by the way, if you can figure that one out.
All right, let's go down to Charlie's, and she gave us some info for. Let me see. Let me make sure that yes, this is it. So let me make sure that I can read her goodies. So Charlie, she says the image I'm submitting is a lily. I was walking into my house and noticed the beautiful yellow-orange color that the sun was creating in the bottom of the lily. I wanted to capture that color while creating bokeh effect, keeping only one stamen in focus. My camera is a Nikon D3500 and the lens is a 40 millimeter macro. My settings are at 1/400th at f6.3 ISO 100. She says, I have been interested in macro photography because my vision is not very good and I love to see the finer details of the flower, and she likes flowers and butterflies. So she said she recently purchased the macro lens and have had so much fun creating interesting images. I'm still learning composition. I think that's, she said compensation, but I think it's composition. So my question is, how can I make images that are more appealing to the eye? I think my biggest hurdle is lighting. I try to create images inside, but my lighting is either too harsh or not bright enough.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Well, I don't, in this particular image, I would say, Charlene, if you're focusing on lighting, you're definitely hitting that. I love the soft lighting to this and the bokeh look to it. The composition, however, for me, this is another one. Flowers are difficult. You either have to put a flower, like if you're doing macro, so taking a picture of a flower is kind of easy because you can just treat a flower as a person, and then you can say, well, I want the person on the left thirds, the right thirds, depending on which way it's facing, and some background stuff that, isn't interfering, and boom, you've got yourself a fairly decent, like, composed photo, right? But when you're talking macro, now you are getting into so close and dealing with this separation of a lot of different items. And when I first saw this photo, the first things that popped out, love the color, love the lighting, love the detail. But what I had a problem with was I don't know where to look. There's a focus point down in the corner. There's a focus point on the left-hand side of the image. There's a couple of stamen that are kind of in focus, so they kind of draw your attention a little bit too. You have to be very careful. If you're going to go for a bokeh shot, make sure that your star of the show is really the only thing that is really in focus so that it draws your eye. I think maybe a little selective blurring and whatnot here may have maybe a little bit more blurring on those other two stamen and in the lower corner, maybe using like a radial filter on this to blur things out in the outer edges may draw your eye in. But then the other thing is that I have a problem with is that you have your subject targeted in the very center of the photo or near the center. And usually the only time we ever do that is when we're doing a photo that features symmetry, where we want balance on all sides leading to our subject. So For instance, someone standing in a tunnel, you put them right in the middle, the tunnel face, shoots right in towards them, and you get that effect of that they're the center of the world. So with this image, and Janice is playing with the crop and everything now, and this is the first thing that I would do. I love that burst in the back, looks like sunburst to me. Janice, I bet you can, this would take a lot of photo manipulation, but could be done in camera and I don't want to destroy a flower, but you wouldn't have to do that. But if you could get that one stamen in the middle with the sun ray looks, right, of the background, right, of just that stamen and just the sun rays in the back surrounded by the purple, I think, boom, you've got yourself her vision, right? And so like you would have to clone out that other stamen out of there, but she's getting you the idea right now, Charlene, of what I'm talking about. Yes. Yeah. What you've got is you've got a lot of photo bombers that are trying to get in there and be like, hey, you want to take a picture of me? You don't want that other guy. You want me. And the problem with when you look at something like this, and your colors and everything are gorgeous. And I think you're right to shift at this point towards composition a little bit. Macro, Elise says it right there in chat. Macro composition is tough. It's not tough. It's darn near impossible sometimes. Yes. And you do have to do a little bit of manipulation sometimes to get your. This is the art part of it, right? This is the creativity part of it that we struggle with. And I don't mean to say this in a harsh way, but anybody can push a button on a camera today and get a photo of something. Anybody can do it. It's been made so simple, it's ridiculous. But the artistry comes with where you guys are going right now. You all are in this together. You all are focused on, I want to learn how to make photos that people are they cannot stop looking at them. And that comes with your manipulation of the angle, of the light, of the subject in the background, all of that to create a story that makes people interested in looking at your work. And so here, when I look at this photo, this might not be the photo that we could do it with, but Janice is doing a darn good job of manipulating. But you see what's happening here is that what you gave us for your description, Janice is kind of making that photo right now. And remember, we don't take photos, we make photos. That's the thing, right? So you could do this in camera, like I said. All you would need to do is maybe take a little popsicle stick with you, and you could hold these other stamen away while you get your shot.
Oh, that's a great idea.
That way you wouldn't damage the flower,
Yeah,
Gently, yep. You could do all of that sort of thing. And you guys, that's part of that exploration. Don't be afraid to do that and try it and see what happens.
I agree. I totally agree. I feel like she's got several, when you leave a lot of the main, like you're saying, the main point, you have a lot of, macro has a lot of different, look, you could even have an
that's great. Right
here.
There. That's great. That's great. Right there. Yep, absolutely. So what Janice did right there is she took the lines that are moving in your photo. And we see this a lot. Janice and I talk about this a lot. We find a lot of photos that have 3 or 4 photos in them, right?
Yes.
And that's what that's you as a creative narrowing that down at some point to where you saying, no, I see 3 photos here. I'll take 3 photos, right?
Yes.
And the more you work in Lightroom or Darktable or whatever you decide to work in, you're going to, or Apple Photos, we talked about a bunch of different stuff last week. Basically, you're going to crop. Don't be afraid to crop your photos. I know you're like, well, it's not going to be big enough to print. Well, that's right. You're learning. So don't worry about printing right now.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, worry about learning.
That's so true. That's exactly what I was going to say. You know what? Just crop right now. And that's what I feel about Otto too. Like some of his stuff, yes, he wants it all black, but some of the stuff, just crop it, because what it's doing right now is teaching you to see when you crop.
Yeah, you're expanding your vision. That's exactly what you're doing.
Yes, expanding your vision, and then also what will happen is you will go to the next shot saying to yourself, like AD was saying, maybe I'll just take a little pencil and move the stamen over a little bit, because you'll be able to see it because you've been cropping and getting your compositional feeling the way you like to express yourself first. Another thing I wanted to give her a tip on, because she brings her stuff in and she has a lot of lighting issues. So what I used to do back in the days when I first started is I got myself a tent, and they're cheap. You could get us, because we're macro, we're so macro. So we could go back to us now, I think, because she's not here.
Yeah, you're talking about just like a white box, right?
I'll show you. I'll show you. Hold
yeah,
on.
we have one, because we use take pictures of the 3D models and things that I make, and so if we sell them or we put them up for sale, we'll usually use this box, and basically it's a soft box that surrounds your entire everything. And
are you back? You're back on us now.
Are you going to try to you're going to try to open that thing up, and it's going to like knock everything in your room over? But usually they're a little pop-up box, and that one's huge. We have one that's a tabletop. It's like 2 by 2 by 2 foot.
Yes.
And it's under a meter. They're very small, about a half a meter actually. And
yeah, I got this as a gift.
Yep.
Watch. Let me show you.
Jeez, that's large.
Bring it out, man.
Janice.
This is all about macro here.
She's gonna hit the button, folks. Watch out. It's gonna pop right out.
All right, I'm not gonna put my thing. I'm gonna take my earbud off so I can't hear you, AD.
Okay, you guys are all recording this, right?
So, yeah. Hey, we're here to show you guys. So this is what I started with. I don't use it anymore, but I still.
There you go.
It's so amazing. This is big. You don't need it this big.
No.
But what I wanted to say is like, you could put a light here. It'll soften everything for you, Charlie. I don't know if you guys can hear me, but this thing was amazing for me.
So what that'll do for you is it takes any temperature light and actually changes the temperature of the light as well.
For me when I was first starting out with macro, and I had the same issues with harsh light or not enough light. And so I would just get
there she goes.
Yes, sorry.
Oh, sorry. I couldn't get a word in edgewise.
I'm sorry. Because I couldn't hear you.
That's all right.
I was just talking.
Sorry. Well, I was just saying too, it also helps control the temperature of your lights a little bit too. So like if you have uneven lights in your room and basically there's the temperature is weird on each side. But yeah, and if you don't have a softbox, if you have a white sheet, you can do the kind of the same thing. It'd be a little funky to set everything up, but you can do it. And we Janice and I can, for lighting, I like to use these little temperature controlled LED square panels. They work great. They're constant light. They're always on. You can get them really close to your subject, but they're really soft as well. And they're cheap. They're like $25. I mean, yeah,
maybe next. How about next feedback loop?
Sure.
We share. We'll take a break and share some of our lighting stuff.
Yeah, I'll pull down I have a 160. I think it's Yantech or something that I use to light up my studio part, my green screen studio, and I just need one, and it does such a great job. Now they're about $100, but still, for a macro photographer who wants a dramatic light or something like that, I would think that one or two of those, and boy, you guys would be all set because you can control the temperature. So, you get exactly the light you want and get it as soft as you want it. And yeah.
Well, that's 100. So if you get the small one and not the crazy big one like me, because you don't really need a big one, it's got to be cheaper than that.
Yeah.
But wait, ADO, look at Baz is here.
Yes, he is. Hey, Baz.
He says, never fear, Baz is here.
Well, I'm glad you made it, buddy. We were talking about you earlier, Baz.
Yeah, we were like, the only one that's missing is Baz. Well, there's a couple other people missing too, but we still want to say hello.
Yeah, in case you missed it, Baz, Peter North was here. I don't know if you know who he is, but he was here apparently. I don't know. He got banned from the channel quickly, but he did say he was a big fan. So.
Too funny. Okay, and so let's see. Beautiful.
I just wanted to finish up really quick on Charlene's.
Sure.
I just want to say I think your lighting's fantastic on that image. So if you're still focusing on, and I know you're probably not watching now, you'll watch it later, but if you're still focusing on lighting, that's always good to keep your skills sharp. But I think you can now move on to maybe the working with your composition. If we didn't make that clear, I just want to make sure that she got that message.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's good. I think it's just, I understand what she's saying. Sometimes it gets so frustrating about lighting. So I'm glad that we did touch base on that.
Yeah.
But the lighting on that image was really beautiful. Yeah, so we're gonna go into, this is our little break segment, and we're gonna share my tablet. I'll share this with you. Oh, can you hear me?
Oh, now what you've done is you've switched to your other microphone.
Did I?
Yep, you're suddenly on your phone. Now it's what it sounds like.
Hold on one sec. Let's fix Janice's Skype. Oh, that's
Hey Jan,
weird.
how are you doing?
Oh, let me see. I think I pushed.
Did you blow everything up, Janice?
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see. Let's get me better. I'm going to go into my preferences here.
We can't take her anywhere, can we?
Seriously. Oh, here it is. It's right here. We go to sound. Remove.
Well, Jan, I'm glad you could make it for just a moment. You know, you can watch the playback at any time.
Do I sound okay now?
No, you still sounds the same, like the same mic.
All right, let me get in here.
I'm not sure. Tap your Yeti microphone. Everybody take your headphones out for a second.
Nope.
Yeah, it's working. That's it.
It is working.
Yeah, that's it.
You know what happened was?
That's it. Okay.
My mic boom broke, so I'm farther away from my boom.
Oh,
so
this is why you sound like you're farther away.
Right now, huh?
Debbie, how you doing?
Yeah.
Welcome.
Debbie, nice to see you. Hello, you guys are awesome. Jan's here too. Yay! We've got the group going together.
You're here just in time for equipment time.
And we're time for equipment time. Let's go to equipment time.
All right.
Do you want to do that segment? Yeah.
Here we go. Made it official.
See this? It's official. And so this is my baby tablet. And I just got the tablet. So I had a medium tablet. And one of the things that I really, when I mentor, I always push photographers to start using this. You know, in the beginning, it's okay to use your mouse and your, you know, I use this or whatever. I don't know. Do you have something like this, AD?
A white card?
No, that's not a white card. It's my, it's for my.
It's the touchpad.
Yeah.
I have a graphics tablet. So. Oh,
you have a graphics tablet. Yeah. So I had a medium one of these. And the medium does have more options, but you know what I find is that as photographers, we don't use all of it. It's kind of like Photoshop, you know, you just don't use all of it. And so what I did was I got a smaller one. I was having problems, you know, and I ended up getting this. So I wanted to share how awesome these are. We'll go ahead and share my screen, AD, since they saw this.
Okay. And
then they can see my behind the scenes.
Oh, behind the scenes.
Yeah, you can see Catalina in the background. So what I wanted to share with this is that when it comes to taking care of your photographs and post-processing. Now, if you're not a post-processor, don't worry about this, but I love to post-process. It's really, really fun. It really pushes my creations. So here you can see the device. It's my Intuos Small, and I absolutely love it. So when you set it up, it will pop up on your, you look in your system preferences, which is for Mac in here. Now, Windows, sorry, I don't know Windows very, very well. But the main thing I wanted to share, so maybe AD could talk about his afterwards, but the main thing I wanted to share is, see, when it comes to your functions, this is the goodies that are on the side. So if I want to zoom in, I have these little goodies where I can push and zoom in, and I can't, I don't know what the heck it did on that one. That was funny. Janice and her technology. But see, and then these are little things that you can change if you want to, do your application or whatever you want to do. What I really like is the pins. So I have 3, as you can tell, and I only have 3 because when I bought this one, I got the Pro pen. It came with it. The ones that I usually use is the classic pen, and I have the grip pen too. But let me just explain something to you. So just like with this functions, you can, when you're in the express keys, you can change everything that you want in here. You can do with your pen. So as you get used to using a tablet, you can adjust how you want the pen to feel. So, you can have it firm or soft, and you can see my classic pen is made for soft movement, soft things, and I have a normal sensitivity. But you could also change, like if you want it to double click on the side or whatever you want to do within here. So there's little perks and it makes things fast, which is really nice. And then the Pro pen, I just have it on normal. But what I love about this is that you can take your pen and adjust it to how you want to post-process. How do you want to make a selection? How do you want to paint on something? Or how do you want to clone? And you can map it. So you could see on mine, when you first start, I want to give you a suggestion. So when you first start with the tablet, I went to the medium because it's hard at first, and so I kind of needed something big. As you get used to it, or you could just go for a small one if you want, but as you get used to them, you really don't need so much space to move. You really get used to it, and you can see I have my main computer, and then here's my Ezio, and I've even made it smaller than the actual tablet. So this way we can, it just feels right. You begin to use it. And I think it is something huge. We can go back to me, AD. But I just think that it's really nice. And it made a huge difference in my photography work, because instead of pushing and doing this, you have a natural way of just making things with your tablet, making things. So there's ADs, see? Yep. And there's, yes. And like this one, that's the size that I had. I had the medium, and then also like this used to roll and scroll, but I never used it. You know what I mean? Yep. So I just love the small one. I have a small space. Truthfully, that's why I went that way. And this was 100.
So I have this is the Huon, and this is the 910 Pro model, and this has 12 programmable buttons on it, and then 6.
Put it in front of you a little bit.
And then it also has 6.
There you go.
Yeah. So it has 12 programmable buttons on it, and then 16 soft touch, where you can just click on them with the pen and program those as well. And this was, yes, Barry, everybody hold up their tablets. It's tablet revolution. And so this, the Huon, when I bought this, was only $69. And this is a 11-inch tablet, I think. It's pretty large. But I work on ultra wide monitors. So for me, I need a wider tablet because of the ground to cover and when you're working close in. But the fact, like what Janice is talking about, as you get more comfortable, you don't need as much tablet space because you can zoom in on your screen. So you're zooming in. If you need to do little intricate work, you're really not moving around that much. And this has a very similar pen with the 2 buttons on it, same way, and those are programmable. Yep. So no battery or anything like that. They're all just they just work through inductance. So it's pretty great setup. I had a Wacom tablet for a while, and it was really small. Didn't really work great for me. Didn't have pen tilt. One of the things. Oh, really? Yeah, it was just a basic. It just did the basic stuff. Like you couldn't tilt and change the angle. So like when you're using a flat brush, if you're trying to write something or if you're trying to paint with it, it doesn't work very well. Because I like to when I'm doing like a dodge and burning on stuff, I like to paint Like I won't just try to do it in one swoop. I'll do it in many, 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 many layers. And so I feel it's more like painting. But yeah, you can get really good tablets though now for like $49. It's ridiculous how cheap they are.
It's worth it too. Yeah. That's the whole main thing that I really wanted to share with everybody today is if you're not using the tablet or if you tried it and you just got frustrated, give yourself at least a month or two.
So Barry had a couple of questions I want to hit on before we're done here. We've got about 9 minutes left.
Yeah, because we got to do more of Auda's images.
So Barry, that image that you saw earlier belonged to Charlene. She is a new macro photographer who submitted. First time, I think, Janice, to the show, right?
I'm pretty sure I'm not sure if Charlie's done that before. I know I've seen her work.
And then his question was, how do I prevent the subject from picking up the LED light, for example, on a water droplet? So this is a very good question. So if you have LED lights, they're usually square lights, and they'll pop up just about anywhere. So you can go one of two ways. One of the ways is that you can backlight your subject and use a reflective white piece of paper. So you can shine the LED, which these things are super bright. You can shine the LED on a white piece of paper and then light it from behind or from the side or whatever. So you can use a big poster board, which will be so large that it won't look like a perfect like square in the middle of your water droplet. But keep in mind, water droplets are super fisheye lenses. So the preferred method that I have for lighting anything that you're going to have water droplets in, and if you do not want to have any reflections. Now, I personally love the reflection in my water droplet because it gives it a sense of 3D to me that I can see the curvature where normally it would just be clear. But if you don't want that, what I would suggest to do is on any LED, if you get close enough with the LED, it will get smaller in the droplet that you see because the droplet's like a fisheye. So as closer you get with that LED panel, the smaller the little dot will be on the side of the water droplet. And then when you're in your post-processing, you just clone it out and it's gone. And that would be, if you don't like the water drop. Personally, I love to see the reflections of the lights in fact, I always look for them because I'm like, oh, I can see what their lighting setup is.
Yeah, I actually a lot of mine don't have it.
But like if I'm photographing like an insect or something and I don't want like that look, in the eye or something, I will usually use a reflector of some sort so that I'm bouncing the light from a different angle. And you just have to keep in mind that, sometimes you have to bounce it from an angle that isn't traditional, but it will get the light there without causing, that sort of thing. With insects, I know a lot of people like to use like an overhead umbrella. That basically you put the light inside the umbrella and it diffuses it. And then you have this just light that rains down everywhere and you don't have any issues with, that reflection at all in the eyes.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. When it comes to lighting, diffusion is the best for macro. Tons of diffusion. I do want to, this is what I learned in college. And it depends because, it depends on, there's so many variables to tell you the truth. But one of the things that I learned about when it comes to, how water or sometimes it just looks hazy or it's just refracting too much. So it's called cross polarization. And basically what that does is if you have a light source on the right that's doing too much, you take the other light at the same distance and if you cross polarize it, it will stop the craziness of the light. So it's all technical. So this is what we did. What we did when we had to learn how to do this to get rid of now this is not just the light. This is more talking about when you have water on stuff and it's just too shiny. So, and it's just like it's just harsh. So what we would do is we would put a light here, and I do this a lot too, especially when it comes to shiny objects. I put in a tent or some kind of, like AD was saying, an umbrella or something. And then if you have two lights, if you don't have two lights, then you got to bounce, like AD is saying. But if you want to try it, this is something a little bit more advanced, but you could try it. You just cross it, and you can also put a polarizer in the front of your lens if for some reason the light is still bouncing kind of crazy. It depends, that only goes to a certain degree. But what I say is just play with what AD's saying.
Yep.
Play with what I'm saying and see what happens. And what I like too is if you're having a problem, because Baz is in the Facebook group, share a video or something of what you're doing and what the problem is. And maybe we'll put it on the show too, and we can talk about it, because a lot of people have those problems, Baz. So that's a great question.
Wasn't even in the show notes, and you did a perfect segue into what I wanted to surprise you with this week, which is we have outside of our house 2 butterfly bushes, and this week I'm going to be making a video on how to get photos of butterflies when they come to your house. Now today I'm working in my shop and I have my garage door open and the butterfly bush is just on the outside, and 2 days in a row I've had, while I'm working inside the shop, I had a monarch butterfly come in and see me and fly around a little bit and then leave. And today I had a big swallowtail come in and visit and say hello. So I'm going to take the camera out tomorrow, and we're going to see about getting some photos. And then I also, next show, Janice, because we had talked about we're going to do another feedback loop.
Yes.
I want to talk about the new Topaz suite of software, which I've been featuring on my Twitter page. Their new denoise, their new sharpen, and most importantly for you macro folks out there, Gigapixel, which is basically the ability to blow your images up with no loss of detail.
Can you imagine?
So
can you imagine Otto's his aunt?
Yes, if you can't get close enough. In fact, I'll make it a point to actually use that piece of software to show how it can be done. Now, along with that, they've also released something that's groundbreaking where it will allow you to up-res video, which has been very hard to do, but now they can actually take like a 720p video and make it into a 4K video with zero loss of quality. I'm privy to actually have access to everything in the Topaz line, and I would just love for some of the macro people to see the sharpening, the denoise, and the ability to make your photos giant if you want to. So
perfect for macro, because you could crop them now and then just put them, and you'll have them. You won't have to worry about, but I can't print.
Right.
You can now. Oh my gosh, I love it.
Gigapixel is absolutely amazing. Yeah, art. Yep.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Totally cool. We're gonna do one. Let's just do one more image.
Okay.
Let me figure out which one. Can you see? Don't share yet.
No.
Tell me which one do you like? This one, or this one?
Wait, I only saw one image, so
this one, or this one. You pick.
Okay.
They can't see what we're doing.
The black and white.
You want to do this one? Okay.
Yeah, because I want to talk about something that I saw in that image.
Okay, let's do Otto's. We're going to do one more of Otto's.
Okay. All right.
All right, let me read about this one. So this one, this is Otto's, and he said,
go for D.
I'm
just reading Barry's chat remark.
Oh, Barry, he's so bad. It's so funny. It says, because I saw its shape like a human brain, I took a picture of it. It's scary and beautiful. Isn't that cool?
All right. So, Janice, do you know what it is?
I am thinking it's a rock.
Nope.
It's not a rock.
Nope.
Did Otto tell us what it is?
Nope.
Otto, what is it?
Nope.
He didn't tell. Do you know what it is?
It's a walnut shell.
Is it? Otto, confirm
Otto, is
that.
it a walnut shell, my friend?
It's making me hungry then. But that's kind of, it looks scary because it does look like a brain.
Yeah, it does. And I love this image. The only thing that I saw was a walnut shell. Boom. Got it. But good. You fooled 50% of the people, and that is the mystery behind doing something like this, is that if you can even, because I am one of those crazy people who I probably looked at a walnut shell this close before. I don't know why, but I probably have done it. Don't ask questions. Anyway, so I love this image. I thought it was great. I loved it. It did look like a brain and all of that kind of stuff. I thought that was cool. Now, Janice, if you zoom in on the upper edge, I'm gonna tell Ada definitely of the upper edge of the walnut, like the top there. Brother, what you need to do is make sure that you are doing your border patrol, because I caught you doubling your image up, and you can see, unfortunately, the human eye can pick up those double pixels in a heartbeat. And so you want to make sure that you don't miss something like that, because once somebody prints this, like, this would be a great image printed large, and if I printed it large, I would definitely see it. It would be right there in my face. So just be careful with that. Other than that, though, you can fix that, I'm sure, in post. It's awesome. I love it.
I do it all the time. And what I do is, I do this all the time. And so what I do personally is, you can see that it's all doubled.
Yep.
So what you do is you take the clone stamp tool and you just mess it up.
Yep, you just mess it up.
And
just
nobody
so it's random.
will ever know. But you would be able to see this in a print. But I would totally just take the clone stamp and just start messing it up in here.
You could probably even darken that whole top of it down even more and make it even more dramatic, because it's like on that edge of dramatic and it's a little bright on the top. So he could make it a little like bring a vignette down from the top, not the edges or the sides. But if you wanted to, darken it a little bit, you probably wouldn't even have to edit any of that to do that. So just
you know what? Well, sorry, you guys. I was
great
like
work, love it.
Yeah, he does do wonderful work, doesn't he?
Yep.
So my first thing was, oh my gosh, it's totally a brain. I love it, and I was 50% that was like, what the hell is it?
I hope my brain doesn't look like
that. So cool.
So it's segmented a little bit weird for a brain, but yeah.
It's Janice's brain.
Oh, Janice.
So the one thing that I wanted to, I want to try something real quick just to see. I'm curious. I am
the
curious.
texture and everything, though, is just really great. The black and white. Barry says it. The black and white makes it, though. Yeah, and it certainly does.
Yes, it does.
It would have been a dead giveaway if he would have left it brown, because you would just been like, oh, that's a walnut. Right?
Oh, let me try one more thing on top of this. Let's see. I'm using my... Okay, that's a little too bright, but I wanted to see... That's a little too bright, so let me just pull this down a little bit. So what I was thinking... Okay, so let me do the before and after. I'm curious to see. I don't want presets. You guys can't see. I should be showing you guys this. Hold on one sec. This is what I like to do. Instead of, this macro show is about sharing is caring, right? Whoa. Okay, and then here we go. So I was just playing with it a little bit and was curious to see. Let me tab this out. What? Oh, hold on, develop. So I just, for me, I would like it, this side is dark, then I would like this side dark, or I brightened it up to just kind of even it out a little bit. That's just my preference, but I just love it. Otherwise, if it's, let's try a different one. Let's just do, I want to see what it looks like. This is one thing that I love to do, is just play.
I think you're bringing up a real good point while you're doing this, though, Janice. And Ada, you should try this, is move your lights around and try different dramatic looks for it and see what you really pops for you. Because sometimes, I prefer that. I like the dark on the one. Yeah. Like, that gives me the idea that it's like some alien planet. Like, it's dark.
I would just do the dark on the other side instead of brightening it up, then add a little bit more dark to give it more alienish,
it's very cool
feel to it. See, so then that's what it is. It would just be, to me, I just liking maybe a little bit more dark on this side too, to give
now I'm going to have to go get some walnut shells and play around, because this looks fun.
All right, we could go back to us. I love it. That's great. Yay, Autumn.
Nice work, everybody.
Yes, thanks so much. It was so much fun hanging out with you guys. This is awesome. We had such a great time. It is the end of the show. We've actually gone 5 minutes over, Janice. But I just wanted to do one more of Autumn's. And
That's all right.
If you guys have any, he's wondering if it was a stacked image. I thought it was a walnut. Great. Yeah, see, she did good too.
Karen got
it. Karen, you did good too. So if you like the show, how about a thumbs up, you guys? It gets the, people on YouTube a little bit knowing of what we do. We're a macro show, close up, macro, micro, but we talk about, like you say, post processing. It can go with everything else, but the images that we do show are close up, macro, and micro, and we do talk about software and equipment. And we'll have another show on the 20th. It's every other Thursday. I do have videos coming out on Thursday, but the show is every other Thursday, and AD is going to join us next week. So share your images. And this way we can have fun and everybody can learn something new. And it's a blast. Yes, he did. Otta said it was a stacked image. So yes, and now Barry wants to know how many. So keep it going while I say the rest. Otta start typing really good because once we're gone, then you guys have to chat down below.
You got 30 seconds after the video goes out to keep chatting. That's all you get.
That's all you get. All you get. So I just wanted to, AD might have something to say, but I just want to say stay safe. And I want you all to remember that your 1,000 words does make a difference. Cheers.
Bye, guys.